Hello, everyone. Call the meeting to order at 7:02. Nice to see everybody. Sorry, we are not in person. Turns out to have been relatively a good call as the heavens did open and a downpour. But I think many of us agreed we were disappointed that we weren't able to be in person. I know Emma's going to be joining us a little bit late. But hopefully and plan on our September meeting being in person. And speaking with Vaughn and Shannon, and the three of us, chair and co-chairs, really feel that it'll be helpful for us to be in person in September. I know it might be challenging for some of our schedules, but let's strive for that. We will have a hybrid option. If all else fails, if there's folks that really truly can't get in person, so we'll be mindful of that, especially work schedules, kids schedules, whatever the case may be. So that's that. All right, roll call. I think everyone is here. Myself, Shannon, Yvonne, Sharon, Joy, Kim, Jasmine, and Chantel, and then Emma. As I said, we'll be running late. And again, I'm just repeating myself because of the minutes. So let me just take a look at our, sorry, got roll call paper in front of me. So acceptance of minutes. Is there a motion to accept the minutes before we discuss?
So moved.
Thank you. Shannon, thank you. And a second? Chantel, thank you. I have one correction because I sound like oops, sorry. I sound really horrible in the first line of the old minutes. So just for the matter of the record, where it says Ms. Testabuzzi requested to be referred to as Dr. Testabuzzi from now on, that was strictly in the written form in the minutes. So for the minutes, I would prefer that as an address, but please not to call me that. So just a little correction. Sorry, thank you. Any other additions to the minutes, corrections? Sharon?
Hi there. Yeah, just page one. I've never seen adjustments to the previous minutes on the minutes. I don't know if you guys want to update that. And then,
I'm sorry, you said that was on page one?
yeah, page one, it shows some of the updates or adjustments that we wanted to the last set of minutes. And usually we don't put those in the
Correct, they get noted on the old minutes.
Right, yes.
So let the record show that any adjustments to these minutes should be reflected on these minutes and not in tonight's meeting.
Correct.
Minutes.
Yep, and then page 4, section 2A, second paragraph, where Joy is talking, Miss Futapa. Joy, how do you say your last name? And I apologize. You're on mute.
Jager.
Okay. So that paragraph probably needs to go under the outreach committee. It's under the legislative advocacy committee. And then my final two changes, page 5, paragraph 4. If the first sentence, if you can change discussion to topic, it's just strange. And then that last sentence, just strike the whole entire sentence because that wasn't what I was talking about. I was saying that we should be more facilitators and connectors and not doers. And I don't know, I didn't even use that language, but
yeah,
that's it for me.
Shannon, did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, just clerical. My O'Toole is spelled 2 different ways throughout the minutes. Sometimes it has an E and sometimes it doesn't. So if they could just correct it so that there's an E on all of them.
So it's O''Toole.
Yeah, which it is at the yeah, the Janderco was fine. Just the O'Toole and the top was totally fine. But then as the minutes went down, they lost the E. That's all.
All right, great, thank you. Any other corrections from the minutes? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes as amended, please. Hey, sorry, hold that thought. Emma, got any adjustments to the minutes? Sorry. Hi, Emma. Any adjustments to the minutes? We were just about to vote on them, so.
Not for me. Sorry, I'm late.
No apologies needed. We understand. So all those in favor of accepting the minutes as amended, please raise your hand. All those opposed? All those abstaining?
Abstain.
Abstain, thank you. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 yays, 1 abstention. Thank you. And again, I'm just being that formal for the minute taker. Okay.
Maybe,
Michelle, do
sorry,
we,
Christina, maybe just say Jasmine was the abstention, just to make it even easier that they don't have to watch for her hand to go up.
thank you. Right. Michelle, anyone in public comment?
Hang on 1 second.
Yep.
Yes, I'm not sure if they want to speak, but yes. If you want to just ask them to raise their hand if they'd like to speak.
I can't see that, can I? Hi, welcome. If you are from the public, I'm just looking at our notes. I don't recognize any, I don't not recognize any names.
Oh, I think I'm the only one
got
who
it.
can see them.
Bob and Wes. Sorry, Bob and
Okay.
Wes. I just clicked how to find it. My apologies. Bob and Wes, are you on? If okay, I see your hand raised, but I don't hear you.
Do you want to ask them if they want to speak? They might.
Got it. Bob and Wes, are you here to observe as public is welcome to, or are you here to speak? Oh, there we go. I see a screen popping on.
Okay, yes, we're here and we're just here to observe and possibly join.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And forgive me, Bob and Wes, I'm just going to ask Michelle, who is our staff person, just a note of protocol. Do we need to have them state their name and first and last name and where they live, or no? And I'm only asking because we haven't had a public member join in this capacity. We've known, so that's all I'm asking for.
I think just their first and last name would be great for the
Perfect.
record.
Okay. Robert Scrofani, Norwalk, Connecticut, and
Wesley York, Norwalk, Connecticut.
Thank you so much for joining. We're happy to have you here. Michelle, anything that I need to do in the way of awareness of public participation?
No,
Okay,
I
great.
think we're good.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob and Wes. Again, happy to have you here. I was just checking some protocol issues. So we, as all of our meetings are public, and we want to make sure we're following the proper order. Okay. Following our agenda, updates from the committees. So Legislative Advocacy Committee would be first, and then Outreach Committee would be second under updates. So Emma, Yvonne, and Sharon, do you have anything?
Yep, sure. So as you know, Emma, Yvonne, and I have been working on the Legislative Advocacy Committee. We've been setting up coalitions, and we ran into a little coalitions to potentially advocate for gender equity related legislation. We ran into a little bump in the road where we're told that our bylaws actually don't allow us, they don't explicitly reference policy advocacy at the state level, right? But they do say that we can recommend policies. I'm thinking more city level, right? So I didn't want to just throw this committee away. I think what I'd like to do and recommend is that we create a bylaw with an amendment or a clause that permits the commission to issue statements or letters for support of state legislation. Now, what does that look like exactly? I'm not exactly certain at this time, but what I can tell you is that New York City has a gender equity commission, and they're engaged in their state level advocacy, and it's through their bylaws that they're able to do that. So we do have a model for that. And so I'm hoping we can have that opportunity to update the bylaws for our committee to come up with a few options, really partnering with the city on this though, and being very, very careful with how we do this. But hopefully we can update those bylaws and get them through this commission.
Sharon, I would add, you use the word careful, but I would also say intentional. Like we want to be intentional with what our hope is. So
right, we want to make sure that anything we're proposing is really tied to gender equity legislation when we do have that opportunity.
okay.
So
Emma or Yvonne, anything to add to that?
No,
we
I
have a
think that's a
question.
great summary by Sharon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sharon, for representing the committee.
Can I ask our sort of resident expert on bylaws? Shannon, is that you? I think we would need to, correct me if I'm wrong, we would need to vote to form a committee, which I think we already have a committee that could look at this particular issue. Am I correct in assuming that we would have to form a committee We would have to vote to form a committee to review the bylaws.
Yeah, I
They-
think we, to do it for, put it on the agenda for our next meeting. To put on a motion to review and update bylaws. And then we can dive in from that, but we need to vote to open them up. And then we can make the changes and then we can, the committee can work on it. And then they can put it forward to the whole commission. We vote on it and then we would, obviously update the city, making sure that it's updated in the ordinance and everything so that we can then operate under those bylaws.
So
I
we're
think
not
it's a
able to vote to open them tonight. We have to announce that
'cause
we're going to do it
It's
first.
not on the agenda.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought it was on the agenda for tonight because
I don't see it
it's
specifically
not
out
named.
there.
Bylaws modification. Sorry, so
We
the,
need a motion, we need a formal motion to update our bylaws. I would, especially if it's bylaws, I think it should go on next agenda, so it's done formally.
okay, all right, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought we could motion tonight to open the bylaws and then discuss it at the next meeting, but okay, understood. Thank you.
And sorry, can I ask a quick question? Can we motion to vote on it and then in the same agenda give you a few different ideas of the clause, or will that involve more involvement with the city probably, right? Or I guess, so can we do
So
it, two things in one, so we don't waste an extra month?
I would say because one is a voting and the other one is informational, we can do both, I think, because we are not gonna be voting on it. We are going to be providing information to the group, to the commission.
So
So they are
voting,
independent.
yeah, voting to discuss it and discuss it in one meeting. Then the following meeting to vote on our recommendation. Is that fair?
I think that's good.
Michelle,
Assessment.
doesn't it have to go to public comment too, though?
I'm not sure. I can check and get back to you.
I'm almost positive when we did them the first time, they had to at least be open for public comment. For a public hearing, sorry, just that the public gets to see, what changes we've made and if they have any comments or anything.
So potentially we could just vote to discuss, put the motion on this next agenda with the announcement, with the changes, allow for public comment, and then we can vote. I'm not trying to rush us. I just want to make sure we understand what the process is.
I think we're looking at 3 months minimum, and we're,
3 meetings.
I assume we're not moving, there we go, not meeting next month.
Correct. Okay. Okay. Got it. So then we don't have any voting activity on it this evening.
Right, because it's not on as an action item, like, we've got to open up the bylaws, it's gotta be like spelled out very clearly.
Okay.
And I don't think legislative advocacy committee updates on bylaw modification is strong enough to open it up. I mean, I'm not corporation counsel, but that doesn't feel as strong enough to be an actionable item to do that tonight.
Okay.
So if you feel differently, please let me know.
Sharon?
Just from the city side, it's gotta go bit by bit. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a process, but
Sharon?
Yeah, so just one more quick question, so we have this right. Once we vote on it, like a couple meetings from now, we vote on the bylaws that we created, right? Is there anything else that needs to happen, or can we just get to it? I'm just trying to think about the next legislative session and time.
Correct. The
I
timing.
think that, we put on the agenda motion to modify existing bylaws, then discussion, updates to bylaws.
Mhm.
Then we can put it all together. We compile a document. We'll send that. I think it's gotta go to Corporation Council just for a review. Then it goes to public comment and then public hearing, sorry. I gotta check with Corporation Council. I don't think we
Let's-
can vote on it the same night as public hearing. In case
Okay.
there is anything that we need to like go back in and adjust, and then
Okay.
we go from there.
So can I
So it'd be-
recommend that we, if we could, not if we could, I will reach out to Corporation Council and ask for the specific guidelines, just so that we have it spelled out for the guidelines for modifying our bylaws, and or I may have it from the previous time we discussed it. So I'm going to dig into my email and confirm that so that we don't necessarily lose traction on this. What I would like to do is just open it up. Are there any questions or comments for the legislative committee on doing this?
No questions, but I support it.
Okay. And I would like to thank the legislative committee because they did do a heck of a lot of work to get us to that point to be able to advocate and hopefully in anticipation of some changes to the bylaws, we may have the options to be a little bit more to advocate for some statewide issues. And of course, we will always be mindful of how those and other issues can impact the city of Norwalk as well.
Yeah. And I just think it's a good exercise because when we did the bylaws originally, we weren't necessarily sure what we were doing. You know, they were kind of an oversight of the committee in general, but now that we see that there's certain things that we want to hone into, I think this is a good exercise to put pen to paper and say, this is what we're focused on.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Anything else from you guys? From that committee? Okay. Thank you.
We're all set. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So outreach committee, and I think the item there that was sort of pending, Joy provided some updates. I know, Joy, just for the matter of the record, if you could review the information that who Will is and the information he shared with you.
Sure, I'm happy to. Basically, I met with Will Schwartzstein, who's a director of Norwalk Park and Rec's children's athletic program, and he gave us statistics regarding increased female participation in the areas of volleyball and basketball. And generally speaking, volleyball had probably about a 28% increase, and basketball had an increase of about 10%, but it depended upon age levels. He also was kind enough to give me an update on some of the other programs for women, such as the Fresh Air Fitness programs, for stroller-friendly programs at the beach, and pop-up events like Zumba and Sound Bowl and things like that, which is not just for women, it's for everyone, but it's to include especially mothers to participate and bring their children in a stroller. And he's happy to work with us with any other programs or ideas that we'd like to maybe implement through Norwalk Rec and Parks. And he's always a pleasure to speak with.
Joy, thank you. I'm wondering, is there any way that either through programs that our own families might be involved in to get information about gender participation from some of the clubs here in Norwalk? Like I'm thinking Norwalk Youth Lacrosse. Speaking a little bit out of my depth because I had two young men, but I know NJSA, Youth Lacrosse. I'm wondering if there's a way, because I do feel, especially because they play on our fields, they play on the city's fields. So I think that is, I don't know how they intersect with Will, but maybe Will could help facilitate getting that information.
I think he'd be happy to do it. I'm not sure exactly who negotiates the using of the different facilities in Norwalk, but I bet he could give us a good idea. I meant to add that he's trying to start a women's basketball and volleyball leagues for adult women, which would be, and he hopes to attract not just Norwalk, but Fairfield County to get interest, because there is interest. But I will ask him. I'll have a meeting with him tomorrow.
How timely.
Anything else? I'm happy to present him. He's a great source of information.
I think part of, oh, go ahead, Sharon. I will shut up.
Yeah, I think I'm really curious, and I think this is the direction I would love us to go in, is to take a look at the overall programs. How many are for girls? How many are for boys? Like, what's co-ed, to see the distribution by gender, right? And
Right.
it's just my experience having a daughter. We did have a girls' basketball program, but it was, I guess it maybe went away at one point. But what happened was, and I'll be perfectly transparent, which is why I'm asking these questions. My daughter had one practice. The boys' league had 2 practices and a game, and we all paid the same price.
Right.
So that's why I keep asking this question. I just want to see it. Like there must be like a master list. What programs are we running and who are they for by gender?
Exactly. Well, he gave me two examples of children's programs, and he highlighted girls youth volleyball and youth basketball, and the total of girls participating in youth basketball is co-ed, obviously, because there's no girls. The only increase was in 3rd and 4th grade, went from 0 to 7. And total number of girls is about 42.
Yeah.
And that, for the whole league, that's a small percentage.
Yeah, and those are great numbers. I love seeing that. I'm just wondering if we can get a bigger picture of what's going on in Norwalk. And it's data. Like I just like, is there like an Excel spreadsheet? There has to be. They have to know, like, what are they dedicating their resources to?
I think
what
that's the big question.
Yep. So what
I think there's, sorry.
what
I think there's got to be, Sharon, because there's a master list of everybody who's using the fields, you know, who's using the gyms, who's using the fields. There's a huge Excel doc that I've seen, and it's scary, but it exists. And I will say, of the Joy, the ones that you just mentioned, the 3rd and 4th grade basketball girls, my daughter and 2 of her friends were 3 girls on one team alone. And other friends of her were in that league. And Will, I really give compliments to Will. He was there every weekend, checking in, making sure the girls were playing, having a great experience. He opened it up to them, and it was a really, really well run league for all participants. And there's more girls who now want to play, that they've seen it and their friends had such a good time. So he's doing very good work for the city and for all the kids and residents of the city. It's great to see.
Yes, he's a dynamic energy, and he's got an open mind.
Yeah.
Joy, would it be helpful to put like a formal request? Like I remember at one point, we put in a formal request to the city of Norwalk to find out the gender breakdown on participation in commissions. Would it be helpful for you to have a request from the commission, like an official request, to look at gender equity in the youth sports in the city of Norwalk?
I'm happy to ask him. You mean like a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet of like,
Right. Well, I mean, I think articulating what Sharon was talking about, and right, so a broader picture of what we're looking for.
happy to do that.
Okay. And I just don't know if it should go just to Will or if it should go, forgive me, I don't know the hierarchy in the department, but I don't know if it should go. I guess I'm just trying to be more formal in our request so that it's not just conversational. I think that's what maybe we're getting at. I don't know, just if I'm wrong, you all can tell me.
I did specifically ask him for the breakdown of all children's sports to begin with.
Yep.
And that's
great.
Gave me.
I think what we're saying tonight is taking it the next level. So what he provided us is the city run programs. I think what we're asking for here is everything. So like for us, I coach for the travel softball league. So that's separate. We get the field time from Will or whoever's in the office. I don't know who runs that, but we're our own entity. And like Christina, you were saying lacrosse, soccer, field hockey, all those other that are more private, but the city should still have that data just for liability and the fields. They should have that.
All right. I'll ask him tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sharon, you had your hand up? All good?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any old business from the outreach committee? Before we jump into new business? Okay. All right. So for new business, Shannon and Yvonne and I had the chance to chat and just kind of talk about and examine where are we going, what do we want to do, how do we want to position ourselves. I think the the legislative advocacy issue kind of came up and prompted our just saying, where are we going? What are we doing? And so I think part of what I wanted to do tonight, wanted us to do, was revisit, just as a snapshot, the survey that we did. And I found it, and it's a year ago. Yvonne, thank you for your work, because I could find it easily in my email. We literally did a survey, not just of issues, but where we as a commission want to spend our time. And I feel like we've actually, you don't always look back to see where you've come from, where you've done, right? But the reality is we have spent a lot of our time in the places where we as commissioners said we could. We have currently two openings. We have two openings, and then we have three of us whose terms are up in September, mine included. I am willing to be considered for on renomination. So I guess I don't know what I formally have to do. Michelle, just tell me. And then we have two other members who I reached out to who are going to get back to me. Current members, Jasmine and Chantel, your terms, as I'm not surprising them with anything. They know their terms are up. And in the event that they want to continue in an active and engaged manner for the next year, they will let me know if they want to be considered for renomination. In full transparency, it's not automatic for myself, let alone anyone else. So you might need a new chair. But I just, I want to be fully transparent about that. So again, I'm not asking Chantel and Jasmine for answers now. I'm not putting them on the spot in the meeting, but have asked them to think about that. So I want to just share what our priorities have been that we talked about, how we wanted to spend our time, and the issues. Also, wanted to try to also make sure that the issues we're pursuing sort of also align with city resources. Right. We do have a mayoral election coming up, so that might be something that the Legislative Advocacy Committee might want to get engaged in providing a form. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying that that's something that's very real and specific to the city of Norwalk. And it might be an opportunity for us as a commission to put forward what we would like to recommend priorities around gender equity be for the next mayor. Like, I think we have an opportunity to maybe put something together. I'm not talking about writing a dissertation, but 1 page or so with things that we feel we want to support, pay attention to, and ask an incoming mayor to also be mindful of. So welcome to your new position as mayor. Here we are, and we want to be a resource for you. And we want to keep the issues of gender equity at the forefront. So, okay. Yvonne and Shannon, anything to add to that little entree? I'm looking to share my screen, so go ahead. Anything? No?
No, that's where we're at.
Okay. All right. I'm not used to sharing in Zoom, so forgive me if this doesn't go smoothly. Just looking for a slideshow. Again, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanted to walk us through it. You can all see that?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I was like, I can't hear anybody. Okay, so we did this, and again, a lot has changed. So I think it'll be worth it to see where the issues that kind of rose to the top are at this point. If there are, we may want to discuss if there's other issues and we want to pursue and take on. But also, again, it's about our time that we're willing to commit to addressing things. I think that's important. So this was all done in approximately April and summer of 2023. We did a survey with the community. We then revisited it with the commission, the commissioners in August of 2024. And these were the issues that came up. Again, this was around August, September of 2024. Priority issues, Yvonne nicely highlighted the ones that came to light. And again, you may be like, wait, why are these so low numbers? Again, this was just of the commissioners, right? Because then what we wanted to do is, if these were our priority issues, we wanted to talk about what kind of activities you were willing, you, me, us, we were willing to engage in. So this is the one that I want to kind of just focus on. So attend and represent the commission at community events. Sorry, I'm just trying to, okay. Focus on strengthening community ties. I think we've continued to talk about that, but we haven't crossed the threshold to do that as aggressively or assertively as we want. I think partially because of time. Social media. I think, again, we've tried. Thank you, Jasmine. Advocate for policies that address key issues, influence public opinion, and drive systemic change. Thank you to the legislative committee. I think there was a lot of time and effort put into that. And then we talked about organizing and manage an awards program to recognize and honor outstanding contributions. And we did discuss this, not to be done this year, but every other year. What we didn't feel we had the time to commit to necessarily were tabling, festivals, sporting events, social gatherings. So more social in nature. And then this is how we landed on our two committees, community outreach and policy advocate. So I do think almost a year later, this has seemed to rise to fruition and play out. So there we go. Okay. Thoughts, reaction. Let me stop sharing. Right. Sorry, I'm just looking for you all on my computer desktop. Here you are. Thoughts, comments, reactions, feelings. Are we, where do we stand with wanting to commit our time and energy and resources? And is this idea with the mayor and we can give that some shape? I can collect some information from you. Some of what we just reviewed can maybe go in it. Okay, now I'll shush.
If there's room for more, I think, and I apologize, you're gonna have to try to understand. It's I have an issue that's make it difficult to talk. So I'll put my volume way up too.
We can hear you just fine. So you can
Domestic violence against women, that's a big problem, a big issue. I think it's something that's worth our time.
Thank you, Chantal.
Welcome.
We could just call it violence against women because it takes many forms. It's not only domestic, so that will help us cover a lot.
However you want to place it, but that's a big issue that has to be addressed. I mean, that would be nice to address. There's a big group of women suffering and they are ashamed, they're embarrassed. They don't even want to disclose it to doctors. You have to probe to get them to talk. I think it's a good way of spending our time.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Sharon?
Yeah, so I think the Legislative Advocacy Committee is going to hit heavily on violence against women. We didn't share with you some of the bills that we wanted to support. 5 of them got pushed through, but there's still 5 left. 2 that are about violence against women. We have the Survivor Justice Act, female genital mutilation. We have a bunch of these legislative bills that we can support, and especially for the ones with violence against women. And I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, we can put a lot of effort into these letters.
Thank you, Sharon.
Very nice. Thank you.
So I just had a quick question regarding that topic of violence against women. In what way should we be addressing? Are we just kind of solely thinking legislatively, or are we looking to provide support to women in our area who are experiencing it? Is it awareness to others about that this issue exists? Like, in what way do we want to address the issue with violence against women? Or
well, I think that's
all of it, or
exactly. I think that's part of up to us. Like, as you were saying that, I really had just 2 thoughts jumped in. Is that we've got the legislative action Legislative Advocacy Committee,
Mhm.
doing that piece of it, our social outreach committee could do an awareness and education campaign, right? So it could be two-prong, and I'm always hesitant to put out an idea, but this one I feel really committed to, like my own, like in my head, my time and commitment. This is granular, but hear me out. So I had seen a recent event in Massachusetts where there were in their downtown, they had a window dressing competition. So all the stores on one particular street were encouraged to sign up and register their window in a contest, which was which was in celebration of Pride Month. And so literally all these windows had window displays around Pride Month. And one thought when we were just brainstorming activities potentially that also have a legislative component to it, right, was public health. And we were thinking Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I just cheated and looked on my phone. I believe October, I would have to do more investigation, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So what if we were to try to get and work with other entities in the city of Norwalk on this to do something like that? Because then literally residents would go around and scan the QR code and vote for the window that they thought was the best. Right. So it's something fun, for lack of a better word. I don't think it's frivolous. I think it brings attention. I think it also shows commitment to those vendors and merchants who want to participate. But that might be something that would tie into this as an example. And
Great
part of what I'm
idea.
hoping tonight to do is kind of try somehow to get a calendar together. And it might be that I have to draft it and send it to you all for review and you rip it up. So, okay, good. So Shannon, Yvonne, Jasmine.
So the DVCC just became members of the chamber. So we had talked in our meeting about like we don't all have the bandwidth to maybe create something brand new, but we definitely have the resources to work with other organizations. Again, we'll make sure this is all in the bylaw so we can do this going forward, but they definitely, I'm sure, have resources and plans, and maybe they could use a lift from us to do some more things. So I'd be happy to reach out to them. And a woman who just started working there, Stella, has been a longtime member of the chamber and very involved, and I'm sure she would absolutely welcome the opportunity to do a project like this with us.
Thank you, Shannon. I think it was Yvonne and then Jasmine.
Yeah, I was going to make a similar comment that is, we don't have to create anything. We just need to partner with organizations and, people that are already doing this kind of work. And probably our role will be to enhance what they are doing, be a voice for the work they're doing already.
Jasmine?
I was making sure she was finished. Yeah, I agree. I think something that popped into my head too, Christina, when you were speaking, even if we could partner with the city and have the city acknowledge it, is, I'm sure they do. I can't remember, but I know they do that typically for awareness months, but also to have like a citywide, like Wear Purple Day, like how we do for like autism. Maybe that's a good start too. That's something simple. And then, people are wearing, the city staff is wearing purple. We get other nonprofits to do it. And then people see the purple and wondering why there's hundreds of people in Norwalk wearing purple today, and then that's a moment to spread awareness and educate others. And then, as Shannon was just speaking too, like I love the idea of partnering or collaborating with DVCC. And, I know all that's what they do is, support and treat and spread awareness for, victims, but also too, like if maybe we can join in, to join a support group or promote a support group or something, from the commission. I think those are good ideas too, and maybe easy to do the next couple of months.
Thank you, Jasmine.
I'm
Yvonne
sorry,
and then
Grace.
Chantel.
Yes, I'm sorry, I raised my hand again, but thinking that we're gonna do this in two places. advocacy and collaboration and partnership with organizations, I was thinking that perhaps the outreach committee would be the most appropriate to follow up on these ideas. And I loved your idea of a calendar, Christina. I can help you look up things that are happening throughout the year, and we can present a calendar so we can really get a plan together.
Thank you. Chantel and then Emma.
I love your window dressing idea because people driving, people walking, it's there, it's in your face, you see it. I think it's a great idea. It's a great way of putting it out there. And if you add messages, you know, that
Mhm.
why women should not be embarrassed, you know, little messages, send a subliminal message, don't be embarrassed, reach out. This is put numbers of uh organization that help women or men, it's not only women, um in such situation. I love the window idea. I think it's imagine if you can get the whole all 80 or 50% of the businesses in Norwalk to do that, and then it spreads down to Westchester County, but people will see it and it will, I think it's an excellent idea.
Chantel, I love your enthusiasm. I would be good with just 10 stores on one street.
And
And also
so-
because it is a big endeavor. I mean, I'm going to reach out to the city that did it and ask for guidance, but it's not something we as a commission should do by ourselves or want to do by ourselves. So, but thank you. I appreciate that.
the businesses will want
Well,
one day.
potentially I would think so. Yeah. Emma?
I was just thinking, on the idea of the DVCC specifically, that was one of the groups that, as the Legislative Advocacy Committee, we spoke to.
Yeah.
Sharon, Yvonne, and I had a meeting with members of, I think it was the DVCC, and then also the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence, which partners with the local Norwalk branch of the DVCC. So we met with representatives from both organizations because they work together, and we were talking to them about some of their legislative priorities. So, I mean, if anyone from the outreach committee wants to reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to, send an email introduction or put you guys in contact with the people that we were already in contact with at those organizations. And I'll also say that, they're really, really passionate about their work and really helpful and really knowledgeable. So I think they would be a great group to partner with.
Great. Yvonne? And don't apologize
Last
for raising your
comment.
hand. No, do not
No
apologize.
comment, I promise. I just want us to be, aware and intentional about the language we're using. It seems like we are using a lot of binary language, and so as the diversity commission, we are trusted with look for other gender identities. So perhaps we can start using more of the word person instead of women and men uniquely.
Fair enough. Thank you, Yvonne. Very good point. And I just had a thought and didn't want. Okay. One of the things that I'm hearing a lot of it and seeing some enthusiasm, which is great, right? We have to manifest from enthusiasm to action, right? And I think the Legislative Advocacy Committee, I think they have a vision of how they can engage in that particular topic. I think our social outreach committee needs some strength in numbers. I know Sarah had been on it and she has left us. Jasmine, you were involved in that committee as well, correct? So I think it's Jasmine and Joy. So I don't, on one level I want to, but I won't put anybody else on the spot. But please let me know if you can commit to being engaged actively with that group, what I would say that will look like. I'm going to follow the lead of the Legislative Advocacy Committee. I think you guys, did you meet in between our commission meetings? Is that kind of what you had somewhat of a cadence where you would try to communicate as a committee in between commission meetings?
We always meet right after this meeting.
Okay,
And then-
so I would recommend maybe that be the case. So please think about if you can commit to that. So it would really be a follow-up meeting after this. I mean, you could all agree that it's the following Monday. I don't know, but I just think that that's going to be the critical piece of this is the commitment from us to support each other to get this work done. So if you're interested in joining the social outreach committee, please email me. Unless you want to raise your hand now, but you don't have to. But without you, we can't do it. So I will definitely get involved in that particular committee. I don't want to chair it as the chair of the commission. I think it's important someone else from the commission take that leadership role. Chantel?
I'll volunteer to help.
Okay. Thank you, Chantel. All right. How about the idea of sort of some priorities for the new mayor? And we have the elections in November, correct? Sorry, my brain's a little tired. Sharon?
Yeah, I love that idea. When we first started the idea of reinstating this commission, we did a presentation on here's why this is important. Here's why we need to do this work. And so I'd be happy to help with whatever we need to do to get something more formal. But I think the whole group could really brainstorm on this. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly do we want from the city? How do we want to partner? What does that look like? I think it's an excellent idea.
Okay. And maybe we can use that presentation in a revised format, possibly. Okay. I'm just looking at my notes. Okay. So, Yvonne, you and I will take a stab at a calendar to get it to the commission. Okay, great. We will, on that, include, I'm sensing a strong desire and commitment to follow up with, I'm trying to be mindful of the right language, Yvonne. Would we say gender related violence? I know there is a term, I am drawing a blank on the official language, but if we say gender related violence, we'll come up with the term, but as a priority issue that will address both legislatively and socially or programmatically. Emma?
I was just going to say, I think we could say domestic violence. And I think that encompasses what we're talking about without making it gendered. Correct me if I'm wrong or if anyone disagrees.
No, I agree with you. That's what I was gonna say. That's that's the board, that's what's used. Domestic violence, domestic against men, women, trans, any, domestic violence. I don't see a reason to change it.
Thank you.
Unless
Good.
there's
Thank you.
something I'm not seeing.
Yep, that's the accurate
Yeah.
term.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry I expanded on violence. It's just there is sexual violence as well. So I figure if we just talked about violence, we could cover both. But I understand. And we can start with domestic violence.
I think we got to start with a commitment to get this stuff done. and I think we're there. Yvonne and Shannon, anything else from our conversation Chantel, do you have your hands up or is that left over? Okay, no problem. Anything
Sorry
from
about
our
that.
conversation that you can
No, I
think
was
of?
just gonna say, Emma, if you could connect me with the people at DVCC, that'd be great. I'm happy to take that on. And I
Yeah.
think just kind of what we've been talking about, we wanted to come up with some things that we could do, and it sounds like we have them, and we have enough time to do it. Like when we started talking about the awards, we were kind of, our backs were against the wall already. With this, we have enough time, through summer, early fall, we could really put something together that would have an impact. And I think that's our ultimate goal for all of us. So I'm excited for what we can do.
Okay, great. And I do owe the committee, I'm sorry, any other Shannon, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, because I didn't say this before, the legislative advocacy committee work extends beyond what we're talking about. Like, we're working with LGBTQ plus coalitions, like it's going to be like, what is a priority for all of us and what we see as, mostly related to the gender equity legislation. So I did want to mention.
Sharon, would you be able to help me with an abbreviated legislative calendar, like when, if not, I know I can get my hands on it, but when session opens, when, there's steps in the legislative process that we want to make sure we're ahead of, right? So do you have that in your, by chance, because I'd love to put that on our master calendar.
Yeah, I don't have it in writing, but we can definitely put something together.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that was new business, and under old business, mea culpa, I had reviewed the minutes, and something that I didn't do, which I will do. It said that I offered to reach out. This is on the minutes from last meeting, the second to last paragraph before adjournment. That we were going to request a status update from the city regarding the legislation and implementation on the menstrual products in the bathrooms. So I will make sure I do that and get an update to everyone. Any other business under old business? I'm counting to 15 like the teacher I was told, like I'm a teacher. I say that every meeting, don't I? All right. Seeing that there are no hands up, is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I have something quickly. Reminder that there is no meeting in August.
Thank you. No meeting in August. We skip August and we will be meeting in September in person. The second month. So, oh, you know what? Do we need to double check the calendar and make sure we're not falling into September 8th? So that would be the Monday after Labor Day weekend. So our next meeting will be September 8th in person at City Hall. Motion to adjourn? Jasmine says yes. Emma seconds. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, all those abstaining. Thank you. Thank you, Bob and Wes, for joining us. And
you
all
all.
every motion to adjourn was approved unanimously. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you in September.
See you in September.
Bye.
Bye.